Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Single 8 Show Half-Hour Power Hour.
Alright, here we go. Another Finish 'em Up show.
So we're gonna be talking about the last episodes of Only Murders in the Building. We're gonna talk the penultimate and the final episode.
I think that we have already talked about the penultimate. I'm pretty sure that we talked about the episode that revealed him holding the gun at her. So we are up to the last episode of Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
But if you want to go through it all again because you love talking,
hey,
I'm all right.
Yeah, this episode was fun and serious, and
this one got a little hairy.
Yeah,
but I'm glad it kind of resolved because there was a lot of it definitely had the feel of a final episode, and I think somewhere they felt like it was a final episode.
Yeah.
And then they got renewed, so they added on that last little bit.
Yeah. I feel like that last scene, I feel like they added on to their last scene of the episode.
Yeah, that last scene really did feel like an add-on.
Yeah.
Although they did set it up because you kind of... Well, we'll get to there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
What was some of your favorite moments of this episode? Good brother.
I love the flashback. I love seeing Chad.
I love seeing Saz.
I'm going to miss Chad on the next couple of seasons because I feel like Chad dying is an end of the era for the squad.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of, I don't want to see her leave.
They definitely did they sewed up her story tight with this episode. And this whole episode didn't as much feel like the last episode of this season as a goodbye to Saz.
Yeah.
They kind of showed her progression through doing stunt work to writing the story. And it really did sum up Saz's journey pretty well.
Yeah, I'm going to miss her.
Yeah.
She's lovely. We love Saz.
You don't think that Saz's doppelganger from
Charles
from Russia is going to show up like they did with Paul Rudd?
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure they'll find a way. Maybe she'll be in Charles' head. Maybe we'll get
she'll be Charles's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I just want her out. Because she adds a lot to that group.
She does. And Saz, as a character, was amazing. Jane Lynch, who plays Saz, is just flat out an amazing actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love how they built up this whole story of her being around Charles so much and her filling in the moments and her becoming a little bit jealous of the other writers and wanting to have that place too. Yeah. I think that is it was really a good narrative of where she ended up to writing this story, and it kind of paralleled her story with the person who ended up being the murderer.
Yeah.
So I do need to I have to say something real quick. I was wrong. In the last episode that we recorded about Only Murders in the Building, I guaranteed that he was going to break down and start crying and end up not being the murderer.
No, he looked too in the mood to kill someone.
He was a murderer, and he was way too in the mood to kill someone.
He looked like the Riddler during that scene.
He did a little bit, huh?
Yeah, especially like the Batman version. I feel like that stare kind of felt like him in the diner when he gets arrested.
The Riddler in the diner? Yeah,
that's what that stare felt like
that
to me.
Stare was quite intense. I'll tell you what.
'Cause
It was.
he did stare directly into that camera. He was told to look directly into that camera.
Yeah, for that intense moment. That was some good cinematography through all that.
Yeah.
And you kind of in this episode do see the drastic parallels between the two, and how that they were both stunt people and they kind of grew into a place of becoming an actor, and one it was their lifelong dream to do and they just weren't good at it, and
Yeah.
for the other one it was their first attempt and it was a green lit script out of nowhere. That you get to see the anger and the envy, and you learn almost immediately, because we always thought, we spent most of the season thinking it was somebody that wanted to kill Charles, but it actually was someone that wanted to kill Sass.
Yeah. And it was wonderful to see, like, the flashback to the murder and how she had, like, it take her time to make sure in that acting of that death was not overacted,
Yeah.
but at the same time make sure that the blood would smear correctly.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Because those are two very different skills.
And he became very panicked
Yeah.
that, one, she didn't die,
Yep.
and two, she was starting to leave clues.
Yep.
And it just really pulled together. And that whole thing, how that he could get across there in 12 minutes really did sew together when that his stuntman skills, and he wasn't afraid of heights.
Yeah.
And he just inched around the building until he got to that window.
Yeah.
But I like we talked about last week, they have a way to make it absolutely make every clue make sense.
Yeah.
When they get to the murder.
Yes. They must have a murder board in the writer's room.
I bet they got a murder board. I always wondered, like, if they work backwards.
Probably. It makes sense to work backward with these types of shows.
Yeah. And when I say work backwards, for those of you that are wondering, they have the person, they pick the person they want killed, and then they said, okay, who are some people that would want to kill this person and why?
Yeah.
And then they work into, okay, now that we know who this person is, how can we do it?
Yeah.
But also in doing that, you do it with 7 or 8 people, and you use all of their facts too, and see where they plead together, and then you get a beautiful show like they make. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so, especially this episode, it was awesome to see how Selena Gomez handled the one-on-one scenes. Because I feel like most of the time she's with the guys.
Yeah.
When she's not with a, like, significant other partner.
Yeah.
But being in the room with the murderer, being completely calm.
Yeah.
During that scene, I'm like, I'm very proud of Mabel and how far she's come during the first 4 seasons of the show.
Well, yeah, and you got to imagine that's about 4 years worth of living that's been going on too.
Yeah.
And all of these high, intense moments. It makes sense that she's kind of found herself as an individual person and kind of found her community through doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to break into? Do you want to talk about, let's talk about Mabel for a minute.
Yeah. Mabel, they worked so hard on that character altogether that every moment in this episode made sense.
Yeah.
And throughout the season, everything that felt like, okay, they know the character now, they're fully making moves that she would make. And that makes sense too, and they're also having fun with her now.
Yeah.
I feel like this season is when they went, okay, everyone thoroughly knows them now. Let's have fun now. we can goof around with these characters instead of having them fit into the mold that they've been the last couple of seasons.
That's true. Martin Short's character has evolved. Even Steve Martin's character, Charles, has evolved immensely. There is some great character development that has been going on through those characters. It's quite impressive.
Because even in live action shows, it's hard to develop characters and have them grow into different people.
Especially when you look at the actors that are portraying them. So
Yeah.
God bless. I love Steve Martin. I love Martin Short. But Steve Martin has done some great drama work.
Yeah.
But Martin Short's always kind of played caricatures of characters. He's sort of like the side person that's the gimmick character, right?
Yeah.
But in this, he really stood out as just this stellar lead star, and they've helped him come from the jittery producer that had no money to the guy that married the Hollywood Scarlet. It was just amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like the season highlighted at how much growth they've been through
Yeah.
collectively. Because even Marvel has a hard time with character development.
Marvel, but not even.
Yeah.
Marvel has a hard time with character development. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did very good at layering it on.
Yeah.
They brought it up to, higher than Lower Deck did with character development, even though Lower Deck is a comedy.
And
There's still a lot of character development there.
That's really true.
And they did very well with Only Murdered.
That's true. Let's talk about the big surprise.
Yeah.
Because there got to this moment that I wondered how they were going to handle the murder.
Yeah.
Without one of them killing him.
Yeah.
And it really looked like that
Oliver was going to have.
Steve Martin
Yeah.
was going to kill him because of he had Eva Longoria's multi-tool device.
Yep.
And it looked like he was going to have to be the person that killed him. But then it jammed up and ran out of bullets and whatnot, and he tried to stab him and it got in the wall. And I literally thought that device misfired, which would have made it an accidental killing and all three of them would have been okay.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot about the blonde murderer from the
Jan.
first season. I completely forgot about Jan.
Yeah.
And that Jan,
I'm like, they set her up the first episode for it to come through on the last episode.
They made this thing so complex and elaborate. I completely forgot about one centralized character that had a connection to the murder and had a reason to kill the murderer. I completely forgot about Jan.
Shooting him the same way that he shot Chad
Was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome to see how that works. And she goes, I've been hiding in the building the whole time.
I love it. Well, at first she said she was hiding in the closet for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
But all of those secret passages and stuff, it would have been easy for her to disappear in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that she came out of nowhere, and I'm not kidding you. I completely forgot about her as we were trying to figure out about the brothers, sisters, and the producer. Everything got so whipped around, I forgot about her.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. It looks like that she turned herself in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
It was awesome. And then the scene with them all going over acting through Chad's Fred of all of them, and I'm like, yeah, they're the group.
I wish that they would have read that there was a very front page of that script that said a note from the author.
Yeah,
I wish they would have read it. I kind of want to go back and get to that scene and pause it.
Yeah.
To see if we can read it.
You know what would be cool if they came out with the script that Chad wrote?
Wouldn't that be cool?
And it said, like, even on the book, said written by Chad Boshaki.
Yeah.
I would buy that. Disney, you hear me? I would buy that.
I would buy that too. I would buy that book. I would like to read that script. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to all the happily ever afters.
Yeah.
That Mabel and Charles move on. And what's Marty's name? Martin Short's name?
Charles.
Well, what? Who?
Oliver?
Oliver. His name's Oliver. Charles Hayden is Brazos.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oliver. Oliver gets his dream wedding, and it all works out, and it was great.
Yeah, that story that it took was awesome, how they kind of acted like it was a series finale because that's what they thought it was.
They sold off a lot of endings with that.
So it's going to take that group. That group is not the same one that we started with anymore. Now they are new people, and now they get to explore the new versions of these characters that they have developed to explore in the next seasons.
And now also this very rich lady that's trying to hire them to be detectives, has already started something in the play. And then the dear Dorman, we find him in the fountain.
Yeah.
Why did it have to be him? I liked him.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, now no offense, can you kill off Mike TV's mom? No offense to Mike TV's mom from Broadway, but I'm kind of like...
Who was that? What character was that?
The woman who yelled at them.
What woman that yelled at him? Which one?
That yelled at them in the building throughout the seasons.
The old lady?
Yeah.
She's Mike TV's mom in the Willy Wonka musical?
Yeah, when it was on Broadway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then they pulled in this whole universe of characters again at the wedding.
Yeah. And I'm like, I think in the next couple seasons we're going to see we're going to see all the seasons start to kind of interweb.
Yeah, well,
a little bit
have
more.
to. But also, I think if they're wise, they're going to go ahead and shut things down with this 5th season.
Yeah.
Because before long, it's going to be pushed to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know how. There's no way that they can keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they move on the podcast to a new cast of characters.
Well, it will be interesting to see how successful the movie is.
Yeah.
That's got to be some kind of element in the next season too.
Yeah.
And for them to work through how that all goes too. They've got all this big Hollywood money now, so they can be more grand with their podcast.
Yeah.
They're not recording it on an Apple phone in their car driving from work to home.
Hey, it's still good audio.
It is.
That's all I have to say. It's still good audio.
And they literally recorded most of that stuff on that phone too. So they're just like us. We're professional podcasters too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We don't get paid and we don't want to.
And we don't want to. Because that way if we ever get sued, there's nothing for anybody to get.
Yep.
So what do you hope to see next season? Other than to find out who killed that very lovable doorman.
I hope in the next season we get to see those familiar faces again.
Yeah.
I hope we get to see, like, people from the first and second season, too.
Yeah.
Because they looped in people from the last season during the end of it.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see those people being looped in again.
For sure. And I want to see, like they brought back Paul Rudd, I want to see the Irish stunt person, Saz.
Yeah.
Or the famous professional actress. Maybe they work out that Jane Lynch is, like, literally Jane Lynch in the next season, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they need to, we still got Tina Fey floating around in the universe somewhere.
Yeah, but probably during this season, I think she was doing a lot of work on Mean Girls for the West End run.
Yeah.
And for the movie.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have her next season, because we love Tina Fey and let's just on the podcast.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a great close-up for this episode of the Single H Show Half Hour Power Hour. And I think we've also done our complete series overview for this one.
Yes.
So next week it will be our complete series overview of Agatha all along. And then we can figure out what's next. Maybe we can talk about this last season of Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
Superman and Lois. Or we get back into the fun shenanigans.
Yeah, we're probably going to return to form for at least a little bit, and let's let it be tomfoolery for a little bit, and goof off. Maybe one day I'll write up a scripted bit that will not ever land.
And speaking of scripted bits, today's episode of the Single H Half Hour Power Hour was brought to you by Rolling Greens Golf and Cemetery. It's fall again, and as we gather together to ask the Lord's blessings, we think about all the blessed holidays that we spent with our loved ones. We at Rolling Greens Golf and Cemetery know that there's nothing that will stop you. Not the crisp fall air, not anything that will stop you from those wonderful moments of 18 holes of championship golf, as well as all the beautiful memories of those that we shared the game with through our lives. At Rolling Greens Golf and Cemetery, we want to help you be thankful. So remember to be thankful at Rolling Greens Golf and Cemetery. Make the place you got your hole in one the place for your hole for one. Rolling Greens. And
come down to Toy Zone and come get your Tickling Wiggly for like $49.95. Yeah.
We're not going to sell coffee this week?
No.
Oh, that was a Single H show for this week.
We're going into Christmas.
People drink coffee at Christmas.
I know.
What if they started selling peppermint flavored
poison coffee for
poison peppermint coffees?
Yeah.
You don't want to leave this out for Santa Claus unless that you want to hear him sing to his demise.
Yeah.
What's the name of the place?
Beanies.
Beanies. Get your coffee, treat Santa, put some peppermint in it, and say goodbye.
Yeah.
That was the Single H Half Hour Power Hour for this week.
Have a great week.